Hello, hi everyone. Thanks for joining me here today for this session of an online webinar. My name is Ethan, and today I'm hosting this platform walkthrough from the IG Singapore office. So right now it's about 7 p.m. So you can see that in Singapore it is still a little bright. It's not that dark yet. But in any case, if you are joining me here from Singapore, then a very good evening to you. And of course, if you are having your dinner or on your way home from work, please just feel free to grab a drink, continue to have your dinner, and just join me here today. And just let me take a look at the attendees. Yes, okay, I see a few attendees here today just joining me from other regions as well. So welcome, and a very good morning or good afternoon to you as well. Okay, so just let me move on. All right, so before I kickstart today's session, right, I just wanted to do a very quick check on the technical side of things. If you are able to hear me right now loud and clear, can I just trouble you to locate this question section? Be it you are using the GoToWebinar on your desktop or on your mobile, you should be able to locate this question box whereby you can ask your questions. If you can hear me, can I trouble you to type in a yes right now in this question box? Thank you. I see a few yeses coming in. Okay, so the audio should be working fine. I don't think there is any issue, but just let me highlight that if you have any questions as well, can I just encourage you to type in your questions throughout this session so that if there's any functions or at any point in time you feel that you have some questions, be it on the product, on the margins or things like that, just feel free to type it in, and time again throughout today's session, I will look at the question box and answer them to my best abilities. Okay, so for those of you who did not manage to answer me earlier and type in a yes, right? I just want to encourage you to strongly encourage you to locate this question section. Okay, so at any point in time, just feel free to type your questions in. All right, just give me 1 second while I pull the question box out so I can take a look at it as and when. All right, so just a very quick introduction about myself. My name is Ethan, and I am based here in the IG Singapore office. So again, IG is quite quite big, and globally we have a few offices. So you could be trading with, let's say, our UK office, our Australian office, or even our other regions as well. But today I'm based in Singapore, so I'll be using the Singapore platform to show you on the demo. But of course, if you have any questions, feel free to type it in. And I just want to highlight that the platforms that we use here is exactly the same as other regions. So all this will be easily transferable as well. Okay, so after you go through today's session and you log in back to the IG trading platform, regardless what region you're from, it will still be the same. Okay, so just a little bit background about myself. My name is Ethan, and I'm in IG since about 2021. So I'm coming to my third year already since it's 2024 now. And back then, before I joined IG, I was with another local brokerage called Philip Futures, mainly doing futures trading. So my role back then was more of kind of like a business development and account managerial role. But right now in IG, I'm looking more towards the educational side of things and conducting all of the webinars and seminars. And of course, after every session, right, usually we flash this QR code for you to leave feedback. So all this feedback, I will actually look at them. And I understand that a lot of you guys who are joining us on our webinars, you guys like content such as trading strategies, what kind of indicators the real full-time traders are actually looking at to make their trading decisions. So we will also have those sessions upcoming in March as well, whereby I've managed to invite one of the full-time traders again to share on his trading strategy. Okay, so just look out for the invite for those events. And of course, before I kickstart today's session, I just wanted to highlight that this session is purely educational in purpose. So of course, if I happen to execute any trades or I happen to go long or short on any of the products during this platform walkthrough, please do not treat those as investment or trading advice. And CFD trading and Forex trading is a high-risk endeavor. So please also do your own due diligence before you execute your trades. Okay, so before I start, right, I just wanted everyone here to maybe, if you can, to just scan this QR code to apply for a demo account if you haven't. But of course, if you already have a demo account, please just feel free to log into your demo account to walk through with me as well and go through the steps together. Because as we proceed with this session by going along together, right, I think it's easier for you to remember, and it's more it helps you out in the long run better, okay? Rather than just looking at the screen and just listening, you probably maybe forget a little bit of things here and there as you try to do it yourself. So I just want to encourage, if you have a demo account, please just join me here today. And today I'll be using the IG desktop platform. Okay, so just join me on the desktop. So if you are trading on the go on your mobile, right, I would just say that the mobile version is almost quite easy to use. If you understand how to use the desktop version, the mobile version will be no problem. Okay, and the desktop version has more features as well. So of course, if you don't have a demo account, I encourage you to scan this QR code to sign up for a demo account and join me. Okay, so without further ado, right, just let me share my other screen. Just 1 second. Okay, you should be able to see the browser over here. If you are able to see the browser, can you type in a yes to the question box? Okay, thank you. All right, so I'll kickstart today's session, but before that, I just wanted to just highlight how I even get to this page. Okay, so the first thing you need to do to log into our trading platform is just use a web browser. Of course, the one I'm using here is Google Chrome, which is also the most optimized for IG trading platform. So you just need to type in ig.com and press enter. And of course, it recognizes my IP. I'm logging in from Singapore, so it immediately brings me to the Singapore page. Of course, if you are based in other regions, it brings you to the other regions landing page as well. Okay, so once you are in our home page, right, on the top right hand of the trading platform, you see this login button. Just click on it and just key in your user ID and password. Again, if you don't have a demo, I'll encourage you to register for a demo and join me here today. Okay, so once we log in, right, after keying in our username and password, this is the first page that we will see. And this page is what we call the dashboard. Okay, so this is not where we place our trades. This is kind of like an account management overview. So it shows you your live trading account, how much money you have inside the account, what is the margin that you have already used for your existing trades, what is your available excess funds that you can use as buying power or shorting power to execute more new trades, and of course, a floating P&L. Okay, and on the bottom, if you have a demo account, it will show here under this separate table here. So under here, you notice that instead of CFD, there is a demo account. And this is an overview of your demo account, your account balance, your margin required, the available, and profit and loss. Okay, so I think one of the most common questions that our new users have is primarily on the funding and withdrawal. So to fund your account, right, you just need to go to this live account tab. Okay, and over here on the left hand side, you notice that there is this deposit funds button. If you click on this button, right, you notice that it brings you to this this page whereby it shows you the instructions for funding to the trading account. So let's say if you are in Singapore, you want to use our transfer method, very popular is PayNow. If you click on PayNow, it shows you what is the corporate UEN number that you have to transfer to and the deposit reference. So this deposit reference is your live account number. Okay, so it shows you here for an ease for reference. So of course yours will be a different number. This is so that when we receive the funds, we know which account to deposit into. But of course, if you are using a normal bank transfer, you can click on the bank. And it shows you what is the account name in Singapore. It's IG Asia Private Limited. What's the bank account number, SWIFT code, the deposit reference, etc. Okay. So of course, if you are joining me, right, and you notice that the details here are a bit different, this is because the different regions, of course, they have different bank accounts. So just follow whichever is showing over here. Okay. But if you don't want to exit the trading platform to go to your iBanking to do the transfer, you can also deposit funds using card. So card can be debit card or credit card. So if you are using a card deposit method, right, you don't have to exit the IG trading platform. You just need to put in the amount you want to transfer, and it's kind of like online shopping. Just key in your credit card or debit card number, the details here, and just deposit. But just take note that this is not a method that I would recommend or encourage you to do, because there is this fee of 2%. This 2% isn't charged by IG, it's charged by the bank. So assuming, let's say if you are transferring $10,000 by card, IG on our end, we will only receive $9,800. So the bank charges 2% if you're using this method. So I wouldn't encourage you to use card. Okay. So with regardless to which region you are, I think the card method, there is some bank fees even for the other regions. So usually I encourage clients to just use the bank transfer method. Okay. And of course, for withdrawal of funds, right, just click to this withdraw funds button. And since I have no funds, it's showing me this message here. But of course, if you have some money inside, it's just a very simple withdrawal form. All you need to do is just fill out the form and withdraw your funds. Okay, so without further ado, I will just dive straight into the trading platform. And once again, if you have any questions along the way, right, along today's session, just type into the question box. Okay, so to go inside the trading platform, just click on this blue button here, open platform. Okay, so click on it and it loads. Okay, just let me close all of these charts over here. Okay, so once we enter the trading platform, right, this is the first screen that we will see. And this is what we call a workspace. So you can imagine this workspace as a blank piece of paper, and you can customize it however you want. But before we add in any of these markets or watch this into this workspace, right, maybe I'll just give you an overview of the navigation overview first. So on the top of this trading platform, you notice that this is an overview of your account balance, your excess buying power, your profit and loss, your margin. So after we play some live trades later, right, you notice that this number will change. So this is where you get a snapshot and a bird's eye view of your account balance. And on the left hand side, right, you notice that there is this menu here. Over here, you notice that there are some of these different asset classes. We offer indices. FX, we offer cryptocurrency, shares, commodities, bonds and rates, ETFs, and of course we have options as well and knockouts. So these two products I will cover it in another session. So we have the options webinar that's I think in the 13th of March next month. So if you're keen to learn more about IG options, right, just take note of the upcoming webinar that I'll be hosting on options entirely. So for today, I won't be covering on options. Knockouts is another separate product which I won't be covering also. But of course, if you have any questions, right, just feel free to email me. I'll be happy to answer them as well. But just as an overview of the product offering, right, we have indices, FX, crypto, shares, commodities, bonds and rates, ETFs as well. Okay, so this is where you can find the tickers. And over here at the bottom, this is where we can do our trade management, which is our live positions, our pending or working orders, our trade history, our trading alerts and things like that. Okay, I will go through the signals, news, and economic calendar later as well. But for a start, right, just let me go through this product first. Okay, so the first product we have indices, right? So this is very popular for CFD traders. So what we offer here are various domestic and global index. So over here, you will notice that the terminology that we use in the IG trading platform could be a little bit different from what you are used to. For instance, you could be you are reading a lot of news, a lot of articles about S&P 500, but you will not be able to find the exact wording S&P 500. And in our trading platform, we term it as US 500 because due to some copyright issues, we cannot name this as S&P 500. The Nasdaq index, of course, is the US Tech 100. Hang Seng is HS 50 and things like that. But if you are unsure what is the US 500, what you can do is that you can click on US 500. On the right hand side, you notice that there is this chart here, right? You go to the information here, info tab, you click on it. You notice that there is this code here. Okay, so if you expand this code, right, you notice that there is this news code.spx. So what you can do is just do a very quick Google SPX trading code. Okay, it tells you here this is the S&P 500. Okay, so that's one way for you to actually do a very quick Google on what is the underlying market. All right. So maybe the first step that we can start today is by creating a watch list, because there are so many markets here, right? But as traders, you don't want to focus on so many markets. You just want to keep an eye on the markets that you are following or the markets that you are interested in. Okay, so what we want to do is you click on this watch list over here, click on it, click on this create watch list button. Okay, so today is the 28th of February, so I'm just going to type 28 Feb. And when I enter, right, you notice that there is this blank watch list over here. So right now I need to add specific markets into this watch list. And to do so, right, what you can do is that you can just go back to the products over here, click on indices. So for instance, I want to add S&P 500 to the watch list. I'll just right click here, add to watch list, click on the watch list that we just created. Okay, so I click on it. Maybe I'll add in the US tag as well, right click, add to watch list, 28 Feb. Okay, so maybe I want to monitor the euro dollar pair as well. So I right click on euro dollar, add to watch list, 28 Feb, and maybe gold, right click on gold, add to watch list, 28 Feb. And probably we can look at Tesla as well. It's our most popular stock right now. Of course, other than Nvidia, Tesla is still very popular. Okay, so once we right click on the markets and add them to the watch list, right, what we need to do is that we need to go back to over here, the watch list. You click on it, you click on our watch list name. You notice that the markets that we have just included to this watch list are showing over here. And the next step will be to click on this button, add to workspace. Okay, so earlier if you look at this part, right, so this is again to recap, this is the workspace. If we click on the watch list and we click add to workspace, right, what it does is that it creates this very small window that is movable. You can just place it to the left or to the right, up to you, your preference. Okay, so for me, I like my watch list to be on the top left hand corner. So what I'll do usually is that I will just shrink this, right, to something like that. I'll just put this on the top left hand corner. Okay, and to access the chart, right, you can click on the markets itself. So let's say if I click on S&P 500, it shows, it creates another window here in the workspace. Okay, so what you want to do is that you may want to expand the chart to maybe something like that. And on the bottom of this workspace, right, what I like is to monitor my live positions and my working orders. So I'll go to the positions. Right now, we don't have any positions. I'll add this to workspace. I'll put it at the bottom left-hand corner. And on the bottom right-hand corner, right, I like to see the working orders. So I'll just put this over here. Something like that. Okay, so of course this is what I'm used to and what I like. If you prefer, let's say, your chart to be on the left, your positions to be on top, your watch list to be on the bottom right, it's entirely up to you. Just move it as and when you want. Okay, so I hope so far it's clear. I don't see any questions coming in, but of course if you have questions, just feel free to type them in the question box. Okay, so let's say if you are using a laptop like I am right now and the screen isn't particularly big, right? So what you may want to do is you want to click on this maximize icon. You click on it. It maximizes the window, okay? And what happens here is that the previous windows, right, the smaller windows, they are now in tabs, okay? So you notice that over here, is in tabs. So the watch list is one tab by itself, the working order is one tab, the positions is one tab, the chart is one tab. And to go back to the modular view, right, just click on these two square boxes over here, this white box, you click on it, it goes back to exactly how we arranged it earlier. Okay, but today, since I'm using a laptop, I'll just expand this fully. Okay, so we will just be viewing in the tab form. Okay, so when we look at the trading platform, right, I think the first step we want to know is how to execute the trades. Okay, so by executing trade, it means how to place a buy or sell right now to enter into the markets. And on the top right hand corner of the chart, right, you notice that there are four small tabs again: deal, order, alert, and info. Okay, so let's just go through the first tab, the deal tab. Okay, so click on the deal tab. And you notice that what happens here, right, in the deal tab is that you can select the direction of your trade. So if you are bullish, right, or if you think that the underlying market, which is S&P right here, S&P chart, the S&P market, if you think that S&P will be bullish, meaning to say that it will increase from about 5,063 points to maybe 5,100 points, then what you want to do is you want to enter a buy trade. So just click on buy. But if you are bearish on S&P and you want to short S&P, okay, so what you can do is that you can click on sell. Okay, so unlike traditional shares dealing, right, whereby it is a single direction, you can only buy first before you sell. When you're trading CFD, right, you can actually have the option to short first. Okay, so you don't have to hold and buy the underlying market first before you sell it off. You can take a short trade as well. So just for your info, all the products that is offered here within IG Singapore, we are only offering CFDs. So all of the products are shortable. Okay, so just let me remove so I can go through one by one. Okay, so the deal ticket, what it means is that you are doing a market execution. So market execution means that you are not intending to wait for any price. You are okay with the current market price and you're okay to enter the trade right now based on what the IG platform is quoting you over here. So if you're buying, you're actually buying at this price. If you're selling at this price. You don't get to choose a price because this is the market price. So the deal ticket is basically a market order whereby you're entering a buy or sell trade based on the current market price. So what you need to indicate in the trading platform is the size of the trade. But before we move on to the size of the trade, right, you will notice that for indices, right, all of the indices, you notice that on the top left-hand corner of the chart, there is actually this drop-down box. So this drop-down box, it allows you to select the contract size for this S&P CFD contract. So what it means here is that if I select this $10 contract size, it means that every point that S&P goes up or goes down, the profit and loss is $10. Okay, so let's say if I enter one contract over here, contract size 1, and since it's $10 per point, you notice that over here it states as well, USD $10 per point. So if S&P 500 goes up from 50, let's say 5060 to 5100, that's a 40 point increase. If you bought one contract and 1 point is $10, 40 points increase will means that your profit is $400 US. Okay, so that's how you can actually read over here. But the easier way I will show you later as we put on the risk parameters, which is your stop loss and take profit. The platform will also indicate what is your risk to reward and your potential profits and loss. Okay, so if you click on this drop down arrow, you notice that for the Singapore clients, what we usually encourage them is to trade the SD1 contract. So SD stands for Singapore dollar. The dollar sign stands for US dollars. So if I select SD1, right, what it means is that for every point that S&P goes up and down, the profit and loss is 1 Singapore dollar per point. But just take note that because for IG, right, if I'm using our web-based trading platform, there is a minimum contract size. Okay, so this minimum contract size changes. If I'm using the SD1, right, it means that minimally I need to enter 10 contracts. So what it means is that the profit and loss will be not US dollars, it will be 10 Singapore dollars per point. Okay, so if I change this to 10 US dollars, right, you notice that the contract size is a bit smaller. Instead of 10 contracts, right, we can go down to 0.5. So what this means is that every point that S&P moves, it is $5 per point. Okay, so just let me change this back to Singapore dollars contract. Okay, so over here, you notice that for the Singapore dollars contract, right, minimum is 10. And let's say the direction. Okay, direction buy or sell, we are unsure yet. So maybe I will just go through the chart as well, and maybe I can share with you a little bit of the analysis that I usually, how I make my trading decisions. So rather than using just the platform, you get to take away some form of simple trading strategies as well. Okay, so before I fill in the direction, right, I will just keep all this empty first, and maybe I'll just share a little bit on the charting tools because this is where we can make our trading decisions. So on the top left-hand corner of this chart, right, you notice that there is this daily. So this is the time frame for the chart. So if you're not familiar with candlesticks, these are just prices for the S&P 500. So one candle on the daily chart, it means the price action for 1 day of price action for S&P 500. Okay, so after today, there will be a new candle form, and every trading day forms just one candle. Okay, so if you click on daily, you can change this to, let's say, the hourly chart. Okay, so after every hour, a new candle forms. And of course, you can go all the way down to 1 second, but I think this is a little bit too fast. You may just want to look at the minute chart if you are trading very short term, or even the 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Okay, so this is where you change the time frame. Of course, over here, you can choose for the chart to show you either the buy price, the selling price, or the mid price. Usually, we just look at the mid price. And over here, you can change the view, whether you want the historical data here to show you up to 6 months or so. But the easier way is to just scroll your mouse. Okay, so this is what I like to do. I like to scroll my mouse to look at historical data. So it's quite easy. So if you're with me right now on the desktop app, right, just play around, scroll your mouse up and down. You can expand the chart, minimize the chart. Click on the chart, just drag it left and right and get used to the navigation on the chart. And over here, right, is how we can split the chart. So this is very useful when you're doing like a multi-time frame analysis, okay, which I will show you before I place the trade. I'll show you some very simple tools you can use. So for instance, let's say I want to look at two charts. If I click on two charts, it shows me over here. So on the left, I have my daily time frame on S&P 500. On the right, I have my hourly chart. Okay, so this is you can even change it to 4 charts if you want. Just take note that as you are changing the charts, right, all of these prices, right, is based on just one market, which is the S&P 500. If you want to monitor, let's say S&P 500 on the top left-hand corner, you want to monitor gold on the right, then you have to use another method. You have to go back to your watch list, right-click on the market, click on Open Market in New Window. Okay, so what happens here is that rather than it opening it in the platform, it opens this new window here for you. So what you want to do is that if you have multiple monitors, you can just drag it to another monitor, or you can drag it back, minimize it to however you want, select the time frame you want to monitor. Let's say I want to monitor the daily chart for S&P 500, but I also want to monitor the 15-minute chart for gold. So what I'll do is I'll open gold as well. I will change this to 15 minutes, and let's say I'll just minimize this over here to the right. And I'll open back my earlier chart and just stack them like that. Okay, so this is one way that you can do if you are looking to monitor different markets side by side. So you can't do it inside this chart over here. You need to open it in separate windows over here. Okay, so of course, within all these separate windows, right, you can again split the chart if you want. But as you split these charts, right, just take note that it will only be based on the markets, the initial markets that we open up from. All right. Okay, so back to the trade execution. Let me just split this to 2 charts. Okay, so if you ask me, right, let's say right now at 7:28 p.m., should we buy or sell the S&P 500? Okay, so the first thing I will ask myself is the time frame. And is this a long-term trade or is this a short-term trade? Because if this is a short-term trade, there's no point for me to look at the higher time frames because it is less relevant if I'm looking at short-term. So let's say if I'm planning to exit the trade by tonight, I'm just looking to speculate, let's say right now from 7:30 to probably, let's say 11 p.m. or 12 p.m. Singapore timing. So what I'll do is that maybe I will look at the short-term trend. So to determine the short-term trend, I will look at the hourly chart over here. Okay, the hourly chart, I'll change this to 1 hour. And my execution, right, my trade execution, probably I may look at the 5 minutes chart. Okay, so if I look at the hourly chart, right, the point for me looking at the hourly chart is to find out the general direction. Within the hourly chart, is S&P uptrend or downtrend? I understand that if you look at the daily chart, right, you notice that S&P is in an uptrend, right? It even broke new highs recently, right? Past the 5,000 mark. But let's say if I'm not looking to hold S&P for very long term, I'm looking to speculate short term. I'm looking at the hourly chart. So what I can see here is that for the hourly chart, you notice that the prices here is forming a lower high and lower lows. Over here is kind of a little bit like a consolidation. So to help me make my decision, right, I will use indicators. So how to add indicators to the chart, right, will be basically to right click on the chart, go to indicators, And what I like to use is the exponential moving average. So when I click on the indicator, right, you notice that over here on the bottom left-hand corner of the chart, there is this EMA over here. So if I click on this box, this is where I can input the moving average lines. So example, I want to look at the 50, 100, and 200 for the hourly chart. Apply. Okay, so you notice that the hourly chart, the prices are trading at about the 100 EMA right now, currently being resisted. And if we want to execute the trade, right, on the 5-minute chart, right, what you can do here is that maybe on the hourly chart, sorry, on the 5-minute chart, we also add in the indicators, okay? Indicators, exponential moving average. You may want to take a look at a little bit of the shorter term ones. Fine. Okay. So so let's say if right now if my belief is that S&P 500 is on the downtrend, so I'm looking for shorting opportunities within a faster time frame. So what I'll do here is that as prices are trending down, I'm looking to sell when the prices reaches a certain resistance level. So what it means is that on the 5-minute chart, if it's I notice that right now it's being resisted at the 50 EMA. So this can be one potential level for me to take a trade over here. But if prices happen to break and goes to the 100 EMA, of course, this is another level that you can actually try to take a shot. Okay, so this is one way, a very simple way of looking at things, which is to just use the EMA. Of course, if you want, you can also look at other indicators like the relative strength index to wait for prices to retest, let's say, certain moving average, and wait for the RSI to show some form of like a overbought or oversold condition. If you're looking to do a short trade, right, to sell, right, then you are looking for you're waiting for the RSI to break above the 70 level. Okay, but for today, right, we are not going to go through all of the trading strategies and things like that. We're just going through a very simple platform navigation, but just to share with you a little bit on how, you know, some ideas and techniques that could potentially help you to make your trading decisions. So let's say if my view here is that I'm bearish, I'm looking to sell at the 50 EMA line. So what I'll do is that I'll click on the sell button. I'll just enter the minimum contract size over here, which is 10. And for stop loss, let's say I just use a normal stop loss. So for the IG trading platform, right, one very good benefit is that you don't have to manually type in the number. If you're trading on chart, right, one particular way is that you can click on this box over here, the stop and limit box. You click on it and you drag it in the chart. Okay, so if I drag it up, right, and when my position is a sell, right, it will register that this is a stop loss level. And if I click on the limit now, I drag it down, it registers this as my take profit level. Okay, so over here you can see that if I'm dragging this down, right, with a sell entry over here, it tells me that based on these levels, the stop loss is about 9 points away, which is about 90 Sing dollars, and the take profit is about 155 Sing dollars. So this is a risk to reward of about 1:1.7 based on 10 contracts. Okay, so you don't have to manually key in over here, just drag it on the chart, is way easier. But of course, this level is are amendable as well. So let's say if you ask me right now, probably what I want to do is that if I manage to take a sell trade here, my stop loss, I want to place it slightly higher than the 100 EMA. And my take profit, probably I want to take it when it tries to retest this previous low. So this is probably something like a 1:1.3 risk reward ratio. And if I'm okay with this trade, right, then I can click on the place deal. So you notice that over here, I don't get to choose my price. Okay, so this is a market order. I'm just executing based on whatever the market is quoting me right now. Okay, so if I'm okay, I click on the place deal. But before that, just take note that you notice there is this margin over here. So this margin is the deposit or the amount that you need to, the funds you need to have in your trading account to execute the trade. So once I notice that I have this margin, enough money over here, I click on place deal. Over here, it tells me deal confirmed. I managed to short 10 contract at this level. This is my stop loss. This is my take profit. Okay. So if I click on these two boxes, I minimize it back, right, to the, let me just change this to one window. Okay. So if I change it back like that, you notice that over here, the position is showing, right? So you notice that this was our position that we initiated earlier. The underlying market is S&P 500. We went for a short position, so it's -10. This was our entry price. This is the current market price. This is our stop loss level. This is our take profit level. If you want to amend your stop loss, you can also type it in over here. Let's say 5070, and then it can immediately amend for you as well. So these levels are amendable even after you enter the trade. But of course, if you don't want to wait for the trading platform to reach these levels, right? If you don't want to wait for the market to reach these levels and the trading platform to close them out for you automatically, what you want to do is to click on this close button, close position, and click on this close again. This is the number of contracts you want to close. If you want to close half, you can just click on 5, close. And then it says partial close. I bought 5 contracts since I sold earlier. Buying is to close out the position. What is the loss that I've taken? $3. So if you want to close the whole trade, just click on this close button again, close. Okay, so everything is closed now. And I have no more positions. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, just let me close the email. All right. Okay, so you notice that there are no positions now and no working orders. Okay, but let's say if you don't want to enter right now at the market price, you are looking to enter at a favorable price that you have in mind. So what you need to do is you need to go to the order ticket over here, click on order, click on the direction to buy or to sell, click on indicate your contract size, and of course over here you can indicate your price level. So assuming, let's say if you are trading on the daily chart, right? You think that S&P 500, there is a possibility that it may retrace back down to this 4,900 level before it bounces back up, right? So let me try to see if I can draw something over here. So maybe if you think that it may retrace over here. Okay, so if you think that this is your initial plan, right? So if you think that prices may potentially retrace over here before it goes back up, right? And your idea is that you want to buy, okay? So you're looking to only go long at 4,960 points. So what you want to do is that you click on buy over here at the price level. Just type in 4,600 points. Sorry, this is not 4,006, this is 4,960, 4,960. Okay, so once we key in the level, you notice that over here, it shows you the line on the chart. This is your entry. You can delete the stop loss and take profit. So once we delete these fields, right? If we erase this field, you notice that the box appears over here, stop and limit. But of course, if there's some preset fields over here, you notice that the lines are already drawn. And what you can do is that you can just pull the lines up and pull the lines down. Okay, so assuming let's say this is our view, right? Just an example, if you think that if S&P is going to drop to about 4,960 before it retraces up back to about 5,140 example, then what you want to do is that you may want to keep your stop loss probably around here, take profit somewhere around here, just an example, and you can place the limit order. Okay, so what happens here is that as we are waiting for the order to fill, right? Currently it's working, it's not under the positions tab yet because the market hasn't reached the execution price, which is at 4,960. So if the market happens to go to 4,960, even if you are away or you are sleeping, the trading platform will execute this trade for you and enter a buy position, which is 10 contract size over here. And the trading platform will automatically help you to exit your trade if the market happens to go to your stop loss or take profit levels. Okay, so that is the difference between the deal and the order. But of course, if you have different trading strategies, example, you are not looking to buy, sorry, let me delete this order. Okay, so let's say if you're not looking to buy when S&P dips, you are looking to only buy when S&P breaks above its new high. Okay, so this one, it means that you are trading on a breakout strategy. So let's say if you are looking to buy at a higher level, what you can do is that you can click on buy. The price level, let's say you are only willing to buy when S&P breaks 5,100. Okay, so what happens here is that for IG trading platform, you don't have to indicate your order type. So sometimes if you are trading with other brokers, right, you notice that within the trade ticket or the deal ticket, you have to indicate, is this a market order? Is this a limit order? is this a stop order? There are various order types. So for the IG trading platform, you don't have to indicate the order types. We understand that if you're looking to buy above the current market price, this will be a stop order. If you're looking to buy below the current market price, this will be a limit order. Okay, and of course, when you're entering a stop or limit order, right, you can already indicate what is your exit plan, what is your stop loss, what is your take profit, and things like that. Okay, so your risk parameters you can already indicate even if it's an order, or better, if you are looking to execute the trade immediately right now, you can also indicate your stop loss and take profit. Okay, so let me see if there are any questions so far. Okay, is there the Fibonacci tool? Yes, so if you're looking at the Fibonacci tool, all you need to do is to just right click on the chart, go to drawings, let's say Fibonacci retracement, you can draw from a low to a high, click on it, draw, and you get your Fibonacci levels. Okay, just let me delete it. Okay, hello, what are your usual trading orders? What are the most useful one? Okay, so for trading orders, usually I like to use limit order. Limit order is because the trading strategy that I am usually using is a trend following strategy. So which means to say what I shared with you earlier is I use like a multi time frame analysis whereby I look at the chart for, just give me 1 second, the chart for a higher time frame and the chart for a lower time frame. So when I place my orders, right, usually it is not a market order because I'm usually waiting for prices to reach like a certain resistance or support. So for trend trading, usually we will not be executing at market. You're just waiting for prices to reach like a certain resistance level before you sell, or a certain support level before you buy. Okay. So once again, the trend indication, you look at a higher time frame. It could be a daily chart. It could be an hourly chart. It depends on the time frame that you look at. It really depends on how long you're looking to hold the trade. Okay, so if you're looking to hold the trade for, let's say, 1 to 2 days, you may be just executing your trades on a 5-minute chart or 15-minute chart. But if you're referencing your trend indication from, let's say, the daily, monthly, or weekly chart, then it's a little bit too far off and a little bit too irrelevant. So you may want to look at a shorter time frame for your trend indication, and your trade execution will definitely be on a even lower time frame. Okay, so I hope that's that. Can you organize a webinar on understanding market orders to trade breakouts? Okay, so I think for trading breakouts, we can potentially do future seminars on explaining breakout strategies. But I think trading breakouts usually is quite fast. I can probably cover it a bit here and there with the trend trading one. Okay, what is the overnight fee for holding CFD position? Okay, so for overnight holding fees, right, just let me share with you this page. Okay, let me share with you this link as well in the chat. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'll paste the link over here in the chat box. Okay, so there are some overnight holding fees. Of course, this is margin trading, so we'll be very transparent here. Firstly, the trading platform, it is zero commission for all products except for shares for IG Singapore. Of course, if you are trading with other regions, do check with your account managers and the servicing team there as well. But for IG, right, you notice that for overnight holding fees, there is this calculation over here. It depends on what is the current interest rate. There is an admin fee as well, and we debit it and we credit it every day based on every day. If you hold the contract past 10 p.m. UK timing, so that's about 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. Singapore time, depending on daylight savings. If you hold past that cutoff time, then there is an overnight holding fee involved. Okay, I won't cover too much on the specifics. If you are keen to find out more, just look at the link that I just sent. I noticed that the spread for shares is slightly wider than POEMs. Okay, so for our shares, right, if you notice the shares over here, okay, so let's say if you're looking at US shares or our domestic Singapore shares from Singapore Exchange, what happens here is that the price you see here, it will be different from the shares dealing brokerage. This is because the prices that we stream on our platform is what we call it as a derived pricing. Okay, so we are unable to stream for you the exact live data from the exchanges because of market data agreements that we have with the exchanges. But what we have here is an indicative price that is quite aligned with what the exchange is showing. But I think the more important thing is that the execution price, where if you enter the trade. So let's say if you notice that Tesla right now is showing 779.25, but your shares dealing broker is showing that you are able to purchase Tesla at 779.00. When you enter a buy trade with IG, right, when we execute the trade for you back end, we will execute for you based on the prices from the exchanges, which is 779. So you notice that if you are trading shares, right, the price you get will usually be a little bit or slightly better than what you see in the trading platform, because of the price that we show here is a derived pricing, but the trade execution will still be based on the underlying exchange. Okay, so you notice that the spread here may be a bit wider, but of course, if you are trading with us, this is what we can assure you, that the prices will be based on what the underlying exchange is showing as well. Let me see if I can send another link on derived pricing. Okay, let me send this over here. Okay, let me send this to the chat as well. So if you are keen to learn a bit more about derived pricing, this is where you can read a little bit more. Okay, so let me see if there's any other questions. Okay, nothing so far, so I'll move on. Okay, so this is how you can enter the market order using the deal tab. You can enter the working order over here using the order tab. But of course, if you're looking to add trading alerts, you can do it over here. So you can do it very simply by using a price change, meaning to say, let's say if you want the trading platform to alert you if S&P changes, be it up or down by percentage points, you can indicate here, over here. And of course, you can indicate the time frame as well. Either is it daily, hourly, or 5 minutes. Okay, and of course, you can also indicate by price level. So assuming, let's say, if you want the trading platform to let you know when S&P breaks new high at, let's say, 5,111, you can key in, let's say, if S&P breaks 5115, look at the daily, look at the 5-minute chart. Okay, so you can set an alert like that. Okay, so when you need to log into your mobile app using the same login. So what happens is that it will have this push notification when S&P breaks 5115, and there is this message that says, look at the 5-minute chart. Okay, so this is a reminder for yourself. But of course, if you are more advanced and you're trading on indicators, right, you can also use our indicator alerts. Over here, let's say a very popular one is the moving average crossover. So assuming, let's say, if you want to enter a buy position when the 50 moving average crosses the 200, let you know. Okay, so add indicator. Okay, so what happens here is that if the 50 EMA, right, over here, let me just change this to 200. What happens here is that one of these strategies is that it's a moving average crossover strategy, meaning to say that if the faster moving average crosses above the slower moving average, then this is potentially a buy trade. And of course, if it crosses below the longer term moving average, then that's a sell trade. Okay, so this is an alert that you can potentially set when the 50 crosses above the 200. Or of course, if you want, let's say, the 50 crosses above the 100, you can always add those yourself as well. Okay, so for the info tab and the last tab is basically, usually you can come here to look at the codes for the underlying market and the margin requirement. So for Singapore, we are regulated by our local authorities here, which is the MAS, Monetary Authority of Singapore. And we have this regulatory requirement that if you are trading CFDs here with a regulated broker, the minimum requirement for trading indices is 5%. If you are trading FX, that is 5% as well. Okay, so let's say if you're looking at any of the FX pairs, and if you go to info, you go to margin requirements, it's 5% as well. Okay, but of course, before you place your trades, right, whenever you are placing your trades, the margin requirements will also show over here. Okay, so if you remove everything over here, right, you notice that if my position is 10 contracts right now, is about 5,000 points, right? The exposure that I'm getting into this trade is about 50,000 Singapore dollars. Okay, about 50k Sing dollars, and the margin required is about 2.5k Sing. So this 2.5k Sing is based on 5% of this exposure. But of course, if you are using our tools like stop loss and take profit and things like that, you notice that you can actually reduce the margin requirements if you use, if your stop loss is close enough, if you add in risk parameters, your margin can also be reduced. Okay, so that's something to note. Okay, so moving on, I just want to highlight some of the other features and tools that we have in the trading platform. Okay, so the first one, of course, is the news over here. You can actually view what news you want. It's categorized by the different asset classes, or top news or recommended news. But let's say if you are trading very specific markets, example, let's say if you are looking at NVIDIA, right? Okay, so this was a crazy run up, right? So if you want to look at the news for NVIDIA specifically, you notice that on the top of the chart, there is this news tab. You click on news, you notice that all these are news related to NVIDIA. Okay, and the next tab we have here is the signals tab. Okay, so if you click on signals, you notice that for IG, right, our trading platform, we integrate with two signal providers. So the first provider is AutoChartis. The second provider here is PIA First. Okay, PIA First, AutoChartis. So what these two providers, right, what they do is that they are constantly scanning the chart for chart patterns. And when they identify some form of chart patterns, they will post the signal over here. So just for illustration, right, example, right now it is 7:51 p.m. over here, but just about 30 minutes to 40 minutes ago at 7:12, they have this S&P 500 signal. If you click on it, if this is your first time using signals, right, you notice that there is this disclaimer from IG that will highlight that these signals are not from IG. It is from our third-party signal providers. So please use them on your own discretion. But of course, if you're okay with it, you want to take a look at the signals from AutoChartis, right? Just click on it. It shows you over here. Okay, so for the signals, it gives you very clear entry and exits. Over here, it's telling you that the direction is a sell trade. Sell at this entry, 5061.23. Right now, 40 minutes later, S&P has already went up by about 2 points. And this is your stop loss level. Okay, so it's telling you to cut your losses when it's about 5080. And this is where you can take your profit at 5021. Okay, so why is this signal happening? They have some analysis over here because they believe that the price right now is going to approach this support level. Okay, so to them, this is a short-term downtrend whereby prices potentially can reach this level before bouncing up. So this is the trade that they are showing you over here. If you think that this trade is something that you would like to follow, click on copy to order. And immediately it fills up the order ticket for you at all these levels. Okay. So over here, the thing that you want to take note is the contract size, because you notice earlier when we trade on the top right hand of the chart, you get to select, right? But when we go into the signals tab, right, for some reason, it gets reset a little bit. So you notice that the contract right now is 1 point is $250, which is insanely big. So if I want to copy this trade, right, probably I change this to 1 SD. And I may want to change this to deal, because right now it's telling me to short at 5061, but it's already at a better price at 5063. So I'm not going to put the order at 5061. I'm just going to sell at 5063. And based on their exits over here, I'm just going to let this remain and I can place the deal over here. Okay, so I have just entered a live trade over here based on the AutoChartis signals. Of course, I don't recommend you to follow every signal and just place and copy every trade that's being posted here. This is because, of course, these signals are not 100% accurate. There is no 100% signal that's accurate. Over here, they tell you a confidence level, but even so, even if it's a 65% confidence level, it doesn't mean that this is a 65% chance that this trade will work out. So usually what I recommend you to do is that still make your own analysis. So imagine previously, just now when we look at the S&P 500 chart, we look at the 1 hour chart and the 5-minute chart, right? So we noticed that in the 1 hour chart, the trend was a downtrend, and we executed the short trade based on the 5-minute chart, right? So let's say if we move back then, right, what you can do is that if you have an initial plan to short, right, you may want to look at the signals over here and look at over here, the same market that we are looking to trade. Is there any signals that's being populated over here in the signals tab? If there is a signal, is this signal showing you the same direction? Okay, so if this signal is also telling me that initially earlier I wanted to short, and the signal right now is telling me to short as well, and they are basing it based on this support level. Okay, so it gives me like a secondary confirmation that, oh, my analysis could be correct short term. It could be a bit very short term, because hourly we are seeing a little bit of a downtrend on the hour chart, and on the 5-minute chart we are just looking to find potential entries to short at resistance level. Okay, so if you're unsure where to take profit, right, then over here is telling you that based on this S&P 500 signal, this is a potential support level. If you are looking to short, this is where you can take profit. So you can get some ideas here and there from this as well. Okay, so again, this could be useful, but I don't recommend you to just trade solely based on copying all of this published signals to the order. Okay, and one thing to note that is that when you look at these signals, right, example, if you are following very closely on, let's say, the spot gold, right, so you notice that this signal is generated about 2 hours ago. So meanwhile, what you want to do is that you want to take a look at the chart to see whether the analysis is still relevant. Okay, so 2 hours ago there is this signal. So you don't want to just copy this to your order and just execute the trade. Look at the analysis over here. Look at whether the current price for gold is it still the same, because these signals are actually refreshed quite frequently. So if you think that this trade you have already missed this trade, right, it's okay. You can just wait for the next signal as well. Okay, so if not, let me see if we have any other questions that I can answer. Nice to have this setup open, creating trading setups with indicator setup. Yes, Karim. So I think your interest could be a little bit more on trading strategies. So I'll see if we can get a little bit more content to share, not so much on risk management and things like that, but more on the trading strategy side of things. Okay, do you often use the client sentiment? Okay, so for client sentiment is one of the tools that we have to show you what is the sorry, just let me see if I can see another product that shows. So the client sentiment shows you for IG, right, our client database, not just for Singapore but globally, out of all of our clients trading this underlying market, how many are going long, how many are going short. Okay, so this is just an overview of the retail sentiment, because for IG, most of our clients are on retail, are retail clients. So this gives you a perspective on the retail traders, are they long or short? So if you look at client sentiment, right, usually how to use this, you want to take a contrarian view. So if many people are going long, right, you want to think of you want to short it, because usually the retail traders are wrong. But there is actually this over here, IG client sentiment, how to use. There's actually an article on how you can actually use the IG client sentiment. It's quite a good article that was written by one of our analysts over here. I will just send this link as well to the chat. So if you are keen on how to develop a trading strategy using the client sentiment, that's one way. So what you want to do is that you want to look for you want to have a contrarian view as opposing to the general retail sentiment. Okay, so let me see if there's any other question. When is the next webinar on super trend? Oh, okay, the super trend webinar we have just concluded. I think we won't be hosting another super trend one anytime soon. But of course, if you are keen on super trend, always feel free to just email me or drop me a call. If not, then the next one will probably be sometime in May or June probably. Okay, so if not, right, just let me share my other screen again before I close off. Just give me 1 second. Let me share the other screen. Okay, so before I end off, right, I just wanted to highlight that if you are joining me here today, it means that you are probably newer to IG and you may want to explore a little bit more to our educational offering. So one good way to do so is to just use the to look at our IG webinar library. Okay, so over here, maybe let me just show you right now. Okay, so if you are new, right, just do a very quick Google IG webinar library Singapore. Okay, and the link that you can see here is just one second, IG webinar library here. IG trading webinar library. Okay, so over here in the webinar library, right, you notice that we have a lot of free content over here. So over here, the content, there are content on indicators, content on trading platform, past webinars as well. We even invited speakers as well, professional traders, full-time traders to share their trading strategies. So if you're keen to learn those, right, just feel free to head over here and browse all this content for free. Okay, so if not, just let me share back on the slides. Okay, so we have an Instagram channel as well for Singapore. So I'm just sharing this here. If you are keen to follow us, please just search for IG Singapore on Instagram. But I think more importantly is that if you are trading and you want to receive on-the-go news and you don't want to read news articles that's very long, you just want to read bite-sized articles, I will just encourage you to scan this QR code and join our Telegram group. I think we have over 1,000 subscribers right now that's tuning into our news. We update this daily. So we have a lot of analysts, not just in Singapore, but also globally from other regions as well. We post some of their views over here. And if you want to read a more in-depth version, right, you can just click into the article over here from the Telegram, and it will bring you to the full article whereby there are charts, there are key levels for you to watch and things like that. Okay, so if not, just let me see. Okay, so if not, it is 8:01 right now. I think we have come to the end of today's platform walkthrough. I don't see any other questions. But of course, if you have questions on platform navigations, you have questions on product, just feel free to drop our IG team an email or drop us a call. We'll be very happy to help you with any of the issues that you are facing. And if you are looking to reach out to me directly, right, you can just do so as well by emailing. I'll share my email again later. But before that, can I just strongly encourage you to scan this QR code to leave some feedback on today's session? Let me know if you think it helps you in your platform navigation, and let me know what kind of content you guys prefer for our upcoming sessions so we can plan around it as well. Okay, and if you think that there are improvement points, just feel free to let me know as well. If not, just let me share my contact over here again, so you can email me if you need to. Okay, so over here, my email, ethan.d@ig.com. Okay, so once again, I want to thank everyone for staying throughout with me in this 1 hour session. I hope this webinar has been of use to you. And I'll see you in our upcoming webinars. All right, so just look out for the upcoming ones that's coming in March. You'll probably receive the email. I think our marketing team has already sent the invites out. But of course, if you didn't see any email, right, you can just head on to the IG website, ig.com. You may want to look at the /SG one, because I think this is where the webinars that's conducted by me or in Singapore is being shown. So head over to ig.com/SG, go to analyze and learn, go to trading seminars and webinars. Okay, so over here you notice that there is a lineup of webinars as well in March. So if you are keen to join us, just feel free. I'll just paste this in the chat as well. Okay, I'll just leave this here. Okay, so if not, then I have come to the end of today's session. I hope it has been of use to you, and I'll see you for the upcoming sessions. All right, so thank you and have a great end to your evening or afternoon or the rest of your day. All right, thank you.